Can I dream for a minute, yo? Can I dream? Can I dream for a minute, yo? Can I dream? Can I dream for a minute? Can I wait that G4? Feed off the semen, receive with that red carpet treatment. Raw fish, caviar and crackers at the Ritz. Can I dream for a minute, shit? How about a meal worth of chips? I think it's like...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Urban Wrestling Network, and today you guys are with the 10 Pounds of Podcast. You've got the originator here, Evil Once. How are you, man?
What's going on, guys? It is your scrumptious, quintessential Puerto Rican muffin, Jorge Evil Once, as always with the afternoon snack, Evil Orbit. And as you know, we got the 10 Pounds of Podcast. Head over to www.urbanwrestling.com. Cop the merch. We got all the shirts. Hey, buy a shirt for your girl, for your mama, for your grandma. Father's Day is coming around the corner, so cop something for your daddy. Hey, and even if your son got kids, cop him something for his kid too, you know. But yeah, we're talking about NWA, and it was good. Get big, let's go! Woo!
So I almost hit my introduction on BBTV. Let's get it started. So I wanted to kick off with the NWA World Tag Team Championship match. The War Kings, Crimson, and man, his name is so weird. Jack Stain, I believe
Dane.
it is.
Jax Dane.
Jax Dane. Okay, the way Joe Galley says it is so weird. Anyway, those were the challenges. They were going against the current ring defending tag teams of Kratos and Aaron Stevens, the most dysfunctional group I think we've ever seen in tag team wrestling. I think that's putting it politely. Anyway, what were your thoughts on this very weird tag team match?
It was a good match. I still don't know how the hell Aaron Stevens and Kratos are still the tag team champions. This guy should have lost this belt 2 months ago, but they're still holding on to the damn titles. The War Kings must have the worst luck ever in the company. Someone's always coming out and knocking them out, which happened in the middle of the match. One of them got knocked out, and they lost. And Kratos and Aaron Stevens live another day as tag team champions, man. Hopefully, whoever happens at the pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks, they'll finally lose the damn belts, man.
Well, you know, you talk about really weird tension, and these guys look like they want to rip each other's heads off.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense how they're I mean, every time we see them, there's so much dysfunction. There is no unity here, and they get lucky because of either outside interference, just mistakes that are being made. You think about how you said yourself that they should drop the belts at the pay-per-view when Our Shadows Fall. Looking back on it, I honestly don't. I feel like they're just going to rip each other's heads off and eventually not even want to defend them anymore. I think Kratos is going to be so tired of Aaron Stevens. I think he's just going to be done with it.
Yeah, I was hoping the same thing, but they still keep teasing us that the turn is coming, something's going to happen, and still nothing happens. When you saw somebody in a hoodie with a mask on or half a bandana over his face come over and knock one of those guys out, unfortunately with poor camera angle, you could tell it was Slice Boogie who did the running. You could see the eyes and then the forehead when he came out again. So unfortunately, the camera angle didn't help. Tried to give us the swerve thing, like, oh, who's that? But if you know. When you're real, you can see it in the eyes. I saw his eyes. I know it was Slice Boogie when I saw his eyes. So hopefully that means that we'll something coming up in the pay-per-view or even after the tapings. The War Kings against Slice Boogie and hopefully a new tag team partner. But we shall see, because I am so tired of Kratos and Aaron Stevens being the tag team champions, man. I mean, other than just all this being the champion and the Pope being the TV champion, everybody else just is dysfunctional when it comes to their belts.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree with you on that one. I don't get it. I don't get how they're tag team champions. Kratos looks like he wants to already knock Stevens' head off. Stevens looks like he really wants no part of Kratos. Exactly. I don't even get why. If they would be doing us all a favor if they just kind of drop the belts, like put them in the middle of the ring and just say we're done and beat the crap out of each other.
I'm hoping that whoever the opponent is against them, Kratos turns on the Stevens. He gets pinned. He grabs the belt, gives it to the new champion, and then he joins their crew. It still is half of the tag team title champion with whoever the new champion is for the other team, and they just become a crew because this is just ridiculous already, man.
Yeah. You already mentioned the bad camera angle.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything else to talk about this match. Poor
Yeah.
Crimson getting knocked out, man. That poor guy.
Again. Again.
Next up was the exhibition match, which really wasn't an exhibition. The proper term was squash. Matthew Mims versus the real world's champion, the national treasure Nick Aldis. Obviously Aldis won. If you thought that was going to be some type of swerve, you were wrong. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the Mims is Chev's homeboy. Chev loves Mims. I don't know why, but but the thing is, Mims got in some action in. I think Mims in the future could actually get built up as being a player in the future. So I can see him being molded. Give him a referee or not a referee. I'm sorry, a manager. Like all this. I'm not Austin Idols or somebody like that. Or put him in a crew with some with some other veterans. I think he could be molded as being this beast that he looks. But right now he's just a jobber, and with a couple of victories here and there, as how he gets the victories is beyond me. But yeah, it was more of a squash match. Well, why it happened, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned, the kid's got potential, because you look at it, and to credit to Nick Aldis, before the match, he did say that he is a star maker, and he did make Matthew Mims look like a star. I will give the real world's champion his due. I like the kid showing. I just, unfortunately, it is what it is, and I think we'll kind of cover that up.
He's definitely getting better each time he gets matches.
Absolutely.
So he can get in more often. So I do see him eventually, like you said, having that breakout performance and being a player in the future, going forward whenever, we finally get away from this COVID and they get more talent into the company and stuff like that. I can see him being elevated. But for now, I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and to play on the storyline too, Nick Aldis went into that match a little bit distraught, distracted by the fact that Trevor Murdoch was announced for the Battle Royal. Now, I'm not sure, NWA fans, you guys may know this, and especially you, or you may know this a lot better than I do. I've been watching this for 2 or 3 weeks now, so I'm still catching up. And apparently, as Joe Galley mentioned so politely, that there is an issue between the real world champion Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. Ever since Murdoch's been in NWA, it's been Aldis' mission to make sure he's gone from pro wrestling.
Yeah,
you can confirm that.
Well, nothing personal. It's always been on storyline related.
No, obviously, I meant like an NWA terms.
He's always getting involved in all of this businesses since Masters came in and took the title away from Murdoch. So and since that time, he's won Murdoch out of the company. I don't want him here anymore. He got to leave, blah, 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 stay home, blah, blah, blah. But hopefully, I am not a Murdoch fan. I'm sorry. It's like I'm 48 years old now, and I remember growing up watching wrestling and when I was your age, and we had guys like that, that type of body. That was the normal. And then you had your Road Warriors, the Powers of Pain, the Steiner Brothers, and you had, that type of freak guys. Now you forward 20 years later, the bodybuilder type, the guy that's fit, the guy with speed, the aerial guy is what wrestling is now. And the guy who looks like Murdoch is like a dime a dozen nowadays. The flabby just looks like nothing. And that's the reason why I don't like him, is because he just does not look like a damn wrestler. I just can't take him serious as being a wrestler. because he does not look like a wrestler. He just looked like I don't know, just he could be a jobber or something for me. Like just put him in there, let his ass get kicked, and get him out of there.
All
You
right,
know,
well,
that's
moving
just
forward,
yeah,
moving
that's
forward
just
before we,
I just don't see him in that type of light anymore. You know, I just don't see him as a guy that you could build and you have fans going around him. You know, they're gonna uh, go to him like, oh my God, this is like the real champion. You know, Dusty Rhodes did it back in the 80s and 90s. That was us. But now you forward to 2021, everything is about, eating better, being in better fit. You know what I'm saying? And you see Trevor more like he doesn't fit today's wrestler.
well, I think then to that point, then it stands out. Someone's like, oh, what's that guy doing here? Someone's going to
Exactly.
inquire about him. So either way, look at it, whether you believe it or not, maybe Trevor Murdoch is fit and we don't know it.
I hate him. I don't hate him. I don't know. It was
Hey,
horrible.
he's shown that he can keep up with the likes of Ricky Starks and everything. So for me, that means he's ring fit to me, and that means he's good to go.
Yeah.
Moving forward, though, let's go to the highlight of the show, the 20-minute time limit match between Thunder Rosa and Kamille, and this was for the women's #1 contendership opportunity. The winner would face Serena Deeb. Kamille put up her #1 contendership spot, and for Thunder Rosa, if she were to lose this match, she could not work anywhere else except for the NWA, and that even excludes the her mixed martial arts stuff. So this was we talked about this last week about how important this match was for both of these two going in, and that we couldn't see either one losing because of how much was on the line. And if one lost, it would devalue someone. Your thoughts on this match? Take it away.
What you just said right now, exactly what you just said right now, that was on my mind the whole time while watching this match. Whoever takes the loss, what's going to happen to them? Can they be devalued by losing the match? Not at one time did I ever imagine it was going to be a 20-minute time limit draw. I did not see that coming. I didn't see it. I never thought about it because it saves both wrestlers. But I never even, not once,
Well,
did that
remember,
come
we
into my
talked about
mind.
that. We talked about there had to be some type of screwy finish or something
Yeah,
had to be in
screwy
play.
finish, yes. I was thinking of screwy finish, but not a 20-minute time limit draw. That I just didn't, it just never one time passed in my mind. So at first you have the entourages, you had the Melina with on the Rosa, and you had Terran Terrell with Camille. Match was amazing. Another 5-star match by these two ladies. You can see the maturity, the growth in Camille. If this was still last year and this match happened last year, we would not see that Camille last year in that type of match. But you saw her now because she's definitely been putting her time in the gym. She's putting her time in training, and you can see it. You can see the matches with her and Germicide. You can see the matches with her and other people. She was ready, and she kept her own in this match. And then one of the funny parts that I saw was when Tara and Terrell tried to come into the ring, and then there was
Wardrobe
supposedly
malfunction.
and they blur out like 2 minutes of the match. Like, what does that got to do with the match? Like, even the whole match was blurred. I'm like, okay, like, can you just blur them and keep the match going without the blur? But I didn't get that whole thing, what happened. But yeah, that part, I don't know, it didn't make no sense to me. They both leave, or they get both kicked out. Then later on, Melina comes out. So I'm thinking, oh shit. Now here's where I'm thinking, okay, here comes the screwy finish. Camille comes out of nowhere and clotheslines the shit out of Melina. She gets knocked out on the ground. The match continues for like, what, 5 more minutes? This is how good the match was that I forgot Melina was still laying out on the ground for that whole time. I forgot all about her being on the ground. The match ended. Thunder Rosa flicked off Camille. She even left and went to the back and never even noticed Melina still on the ground. So I'm like, oh shit, Melina's still laying on the ground. Like, what happened? Like, oh, that's right, she got clothesline. Like that's how good the match was that I forgot all about Melina. But this was the right finish, I guess. Maybe not. I guess. What's going to happen now moving forward? Or will they have a match at the pay-per-view in 2 weeks to finish this off and see what happens? I don't know. Because now we're going to definitely going to get Serena Deeb against Camille now on the pay-per-view for on the one-on-one. So maybe after Camille wins this match and becomes the new champion, then later in the future, Thunder Rosa is able to defeat her for the title if she doesn't, sign with NWA full time. Or I'm sorry, with AEW full time.
AEW.
So it all depends when her contract is going to come up, stuff like that. I know Serena Deeb is actually wrestling this Sunday AEW show, defending the title against Riho. They just made that match during the week. I was like, okay. And then once again, we get Serena Deeb in a different show, defending the title in a different show.
Adding prestige. There's no greater honor than defending your belt on another company's show.
Of course. It's just always going to elevate the belt. But the problem is, do any NWA fans follow AEW? Do they know Serena Deeb is wrestling at AEW defending the title there last week and now again this week at the actual pay-per-view show this weekend? That's what I want to know. I've seen it, the commercials at AEW. I've never seen the commercial of anything being shown during the NWA show saying, "Oh, Serena Deeb is defending the title here." You know what I'm saying? Cross promotion or something. Once again, NWA dropping the ball in something, or whoever dropping the ball that's not mentioning the belt is being defended somewhere else.
Well, I think for the NWA's point of view, hey, like you're putting our belt on your show. That's your job to reach those fans. I think that's the way NWA sees it. I think that's the way AEW looks at Impact, things like that. So I think that's just how they do it. Like, why should we promote you guys? You're taking our stuff, so you promote. That's your job. Make it work. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Going on.
I was fine. I was fine with how it ended the match in the 20-minute, time limit draw. I didn't see that. Like I said, I never expected it one time that it was going to end that way. But yes, it was the right finish because it continues. Hopefully down the line in a couple of weeks in the tapings or maybe at the next pay-per-view, a rematch between Camille, if she becomes the champion next week, against Thunder Rosa or whoever is left at NWA. Newcomers or some of the old, ladies that were right there. Hopefully, Mickie James will make her, coming up in the future in the pay-per-views coming up, once her 90-day contract thing expires. I would love to see Mickie James at NWA.
I speak about the match, man. This was a technical wrestling masterpiece. Literally, if you want to know how it's done, you watch this match. There were so many great false finishes where I thought Camille was going to lose, and then I thought Rose was going to lose. The time limit draw was in the back of my head because I don't remember them putting a 20-minute time limit on it. So it was definitely in the back of my head. I just thought it was the least likeliest option.
Yeah.
Because I thought what they were going to do is if there was a time limit draw, I would have loved for them to add Thunder Rosa into the match at When Our Shadows Fall and make it a three-way. That way, one of the two pin Deeb. I can't see Serena Deeb walking out with the title because she hasn't been in a meaningful storyline there. So for me, I think the belt has to go to Camille or to Camille at this point.
Two things. One, Camille did tell her the first rule or first thing that she was gonna tell her when they told her, okay, what are the not the rules, but the conditions for the match. She said one is going to be a 20-minute time limit match. So she did mention that one. Now, two, do you think you'll make that into a triple threat match in next week? You think maybe they'll mention that during next week's show? Since there's not a show next week, so I'm guessing it's one of those that one show be with Gally and May Valentine type deal thing. Type of deal show, go over Saturdays or Sundays pay-per-view.
Well, to go on the first comment you said, yeah, they did say that when they did the recap. That's the only reason why I knew, because I wasn't there for the original promo for that. So I was like, oh, okay, that was weird. So for me, I'm still learning this, but I'm glad you pointed that out too. And the second one, I can't. I feel like you have to, because it adds one small layer. Let's say hypothetically, if Deeb wins this match and she pins or submits Thunder Rosa, that could still be a bragging point for Kamille to be like, well, hey, you pinned her, you beat her, you didn't beat me. And that could set up her taking the belt on the one-on-one, and it officially knocks Thunder Rosa out of the title picture, and then you can come back to the Kamille Thunder Rosa storyline later on for the belt to be one-on-one and not have to do it immediately once Kamille wins, you know? So that way you can keep Kamille focused on Serena Deeb. You can bring Serena Deeb back into the fold for an actual rivalry and put her on NWA, while Thunder Rosa is kind of on the sidelines, trying to work her way back up. That could be her redemption storyline to then get the shot at Kamille, and then later on during one of the later pay-per-views, you have the redeemed Thunder Rosa being the number one contender, and Kamille, who at that point should be lengthy enough in her title reign to where it's even on a bigger platform to where that could potentially even main event a pay-per-view.
No.
So I know that was probably a lot.
I see both points. I like both of those points, and hopefully they do make it during the week into a three-way. I will enjoy that better, a three-way, because then, like you said, all those different storylines can play out instead of a one-on-one, and then you got to hope that Kamille wins, because if she doesn't, then it just sucks.
Yeah.
You built Kamille for her to lose to Deb or to Deeb. I'm sorry, and then it kind of makes you like, okay, so where the hell Serena Deeb at? Is she signed with AEW? Is she signed with NWA? What's going on?
And I agree. Yeah. And moving forward, we have one more thing that I see in my little notes here, and
Yes.
that is the 14-man battle royal. The number one contendership. The winner of this match would then go on to face the Real World's champion, the national treasure, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis, at the main event of When Our Shadows Fall. That happens, I think, next week, actually, or it's on the 6th of June. There you go. The 6th of June. So, your thought, I'm not going to say who won because I couldn't name half the people in this match besides Slice Boogie, Tyrus, and a few others. Your thoughts on this match?
With every good thing that NWA does, they always have that one bad thing, and you kind of go like, damn, man, they were doing so good, and this is how they're gonna disappoint me by doing something bad. This was the fastest battle royal that I ever seen in my life. This was the most choreographed battle royal that I ever seen in my life. Go ahead.
Not to cut you off. I did want to bring in the NWA rule style to the battle royal. It didn't matter on what rope you were in. If one foot touched the floor.
Never heard that before. I'm sorry. I've been watching NWA since 1983. I've never heard that before. Now I've seen that in the women's battle royals, to the second rope or the top rope, because they could never throw them over the top rope. And then that changed over time where now everybody gets thrown over the top rope. So yeah, I don't know where that came from, to be honest with you. That must have been before my 83, back in 83, before that happened, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I just wanted to point. I didn't know. I was sort of hope that you knew, because I know you've been watching it for decades at this point, and I was like, maybe he knows. I had no idea.
I'm gonna have to look into some kind of rule book, one of my NWA rule books that I have from back in the days, and find out when that came about, because I've never seen it, never heard of it. But horrible battle royal. The ending was so choreographed. It just made me sick to my stomach. Just how choreographed this thing was. Like when it came out to the last four people or the last three, you already knew what was going to happen. The two guys from Strictly Business, Chris Masters and Bram, and Trevor Murdoch. That was the last three, and you like, oh my god, no. Oh, like, please don't, no, 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 no. And then just like that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I know every company does it. I know every company has their highs and their lows. This was NWA's highs of the pay-per-view coming up, and the low being the main event, because that's the. I just can't see Murdoch defeating all this at the pay-per-view. And if it does happen, he cannot be all this at this for this title. He's held this belt for almost 3 years. He cannot lose
900
to
days.
he cannot lose to Murdoch. No, no. This will be the worst thing if that happens. If Murdoch beats all this,
You just give up with NWA? Is that what you're saying?
I will not give up. I'll be super duper disappointed though. I can never give up on any wrestling company because that's how they write the stuff. You know, they are the professionals. We're not. We're just fans. We can stay here and think, oh my God, it should have been this way. We don't get paid for that. We're sitting here giving our opinions. We're just fans. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna be like, oh. And then I want to watch the show on Tuesday, like I always do with Impact, like I always do with AEW, like I always do with Ring of Honor, like I do with every company. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to hate. Now we got social media to go out and voice your frustrations. Before, you just like, oh my God, like, oh. But all this, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say next, because even by all this winning, we still lose as fans. We still lose because we got that main event. So even all this winning this match, he still loses. It just shows like it's like it's a throwaway pay-per-view main event. Like it just say, we don't have nobody else for the main event. Let's just put this guy here because of the storyline they've been doing for the last 2 months with all this and Murdoch. But Murdoch has no business being in the title picture. So unless they do the same thing that they did with Stevens 2 months ago, which, okay, whatever, it's still gonna be disappointment because he has to win, and if all this doesn't win, I just can't see Murdoch being the guy to defeat him after being 3 years of being the champion and carrying your belt for 3 years, and especially during the pandemic, and especially when you were trying to build it from the ground up again, doing the stuff with Ring of Honor, doing the stuff with AEW when the belt got defended against Cody Rhodes, and then when he won the belt back from Cody Rhodes later on. You know what I'm saying? I just can't see Murdoch being that guy to take that from him. Please stop me already, because I don't even know what I'm supposed to say anymore.
Yeah,
I think I'm already babbling on.
Yeah,
of disapproval, disappointment. I just total disgust at that finish at that being our main event for the pay-per-view.
But while you were talking, I was trying to find words to.
Dude, you got better words than me. You have an extensive vocabulary. You say the same stuff that I said, but in better words.
Yeah, I just when you look at this, Trevor Murdoch did floor, Nick Aldis with that off the top rope bulldog. It added something to their title match. If you're a Trevor Murdoch fan, you're really happy. I enjoyed his Harley race promo, and that's your main event. That's all I got.
No, that Harley race promo happens when you win a title. If you win the 10 pounds of gold, that's when the Harley race promo happens. Not before. You haven't done anything yet. You just got a chance to be in the main event to fight for the title.
Think about it this way, right? A guy who was looked at as a mid-card guy, and even a jobber at his former employer, has now got a shot to be a world champion. After how long he's been wrestling in this business?
277 years. I don't know.
All right, either way, it's at least over 10, at least over 15. If he was wrestling in 2006, we're in, over 15 years now. So that's when I first seen him. So for me, you've got a guy who for 15 years never had the main shot. And he's got a shot to make history against a man who's been holding a belt for over 900 days, who ranks up there as one of the best champions reign-wise, in terms of days, with the likes of Harley Race, Ric Flair. There's a whole list more. The Sheik. For those who don't know, look it up. The Sheik.
I mean, even Hulk Hogan when he had the belt for over 5 years.
That title has a lineage and a prestige like no other. So when you have a shot at the most prestigious championship in professional wrestling that has helped build the industry, when you go from being a jobber to a mid-card champion to being screwed out of your title, well, for me, I'd be pretty damn happy too. So I'm not going to knock him for his promo. That right there was pure emotion. It was love for the business, and it was passion. And that's what you seen was passion.
One more thing that I remember that we didn't hit on, how supposedly Masters gave up and relinquished his NWA Pepto-Bismol title to be in the Battle Royal. That right there makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because if you're in the business to be a champion, why supposedly would you have someone talk you out of relinquishing your belt to be in a Battle Royal to that way you could defend him from not facing Murdoch, and you still fail at that. So now he still has to go against Murdoch, and you lost your title. So now there's got to be a tournament or a one-on-one against somebody, the top two guys for the new Pepto-Bismol NWA title.
Hey, some people. Hey, as Nick Aldis mentioned to you before, he is the true puppet master. So when he pulls the strings, he can make people dance. That's exactly what Chris Adonis says. He's the puppet, and the NWA World Champion knows how to use him.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all that was.
Definitely.
So for me, Nick Aldis gave you the hint at the beginning of the show, and it proved it later on. Hey, there's one thing I will say: when Nick Aldis speaks and he makes statements, he always delivers. He does not write checks he cannot cash. I give the real world champion credit there. And with that, I think we've covered everything. So with that being said,
one more thing. Another thing that I don't like is they still have not announced any type of matches for this show, except for the main event. Oh, and then the women's title.
Well, I'm pretty sure they'll tweet it.
I know, yeah, during the week, next week, yeah. But still, I mean, you think by now, 5, 6, or maybe 3, 4 matches. I'm pretty sure the TV title is going to be on the line. Titus against Pope.
Yeah, that's been pretty much confirmed after Pope eliminated Tyrus.
So that's probably going to be there. So
yeah, I think that kind of covers it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the Urban Wrestling Network. And, of course, check our website out at urbanwrestlingnetwork.com. Thank you so much for watching. You can pick up the 10 pounds of podcast shirt on the .com. Go do that. What are you waiting for? We'll see you next time, everybody. Stay off the hook.